Hey guys, Asher coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. How are you all doing? I just finished season 2 of Succession. Man, that's a good show. I'm so far behind. I'm always one of those guys that just like rolls, I don't know, maybe 2 years behind popular TV shows, and then I binge the heck out of them. That's the way to do it.
No.
What else is going on? I'm listening to a bunch of 80s music right now, so nothing really to write home about in terms of things that, you know, all the cool kids cutting edge would be interested in that regard. So other than that, my life is as boring as ever, except for the fact that I've switched my clan boss team, guys. Listen, maybe some of you guys are in the same boat that I am. I actually upgraded my team through downgrading my team, which doesn't really make any sense. Let me put it this way. I upgraded my account by downgrading my clan boss team. That's the notes that I'm trying to strike there. Why? What am I talking about? Well, when I talk about some of the champions I used to use a few different clan boss teams. One, I was using Cardiel, but the problem is I really needed Cardiel at a different speed in a different build for Fire Knight 10, okay? And then I was using another team with Helikath, right? And if you guys missed it, man, I probably need to make another video talking about how amazing Helikath is right now in the arena, specifically live arena. I lean heavily on this dude. He's so good that people ban him most times over like a Siphi and a Rhodos and a Warlord. They ban Helikath.
I'm a god.
You're a god.
I'm a god, not the god.
So I really wanted to use him as well. And this has been the case with other champions as well. Like, I'm lucky enough to have Acresia. And Acresia, I was running on an old clan boss team, but I wanted to switch off that clan boss team as well. So you know what? I just made the decision finally this morning. I'm going to go ahead and visit one of my favorite websites out there in the world. It is deadwoodjedi.com. It's so cool, dude. He's upgraded this site a ton since the last time that I built a clan boss team, frankly. And what my goal was simple, right? And again, I feel like whether or not you're going to build the same team that I'm building or whatever, this is something that I should have done so long ago. I'm so happy I did, and I want to share it with you guys, right? And that is, I want to take away all the champions that I want to use in other areas of the game, okay? Especially ones that I need in different builds, obviously, right? So like Helikath, for example, Valkyrie, Cardiel, champions like that. I want to rebuild them to use them in other areas that I'm in more desperate need than in Clan Boss. The truth is Clan Boss, especially after Blessings and Artifact Ascension, it's never been easier. Obviously, if you're brand new, it's still going to be difficult, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much easier than it was a couple years ago to one key Ultra Nightmare or Nightmare, wherever you're focusing on. So we can get by with actually some more old school teams that can still easily one key Ultra Nightmare using champions that I don't need in other areas of the game. So that's exactly what I did, and again, I'm thrilled. But let me show you off Deadwood Jedi's website. This is not an ad here, by the way, but what you can do is you can put on the filter now. He's a filter. This is so cool, right? I mean, this is awesome. It's probably like 6 months old, but like I said, it's been a while since I've checked out the website, frankly. It's been a while since I touched Clan Boss. You know, I was just using the same old teams, to my dismay. So you get to choose the toon type, the difficulty of making the team, thus like how fast the speeds are, etc., and what the artifact requirements are, and then the key performance, one key Ultra Nightmare, yes please, even the affinity friendly, all affinities. I don't want void only, I want all affinities. And then you can choose champions to include. Demytha is a fantastic epic champion, one of the best out there in the game, but I don't use her anywhere. So that's exactly what I did. I chose a champion that I knew would be kind of the bastion, the foundation of the team, the pillars that everything else stood on, and I wanted to go ahead and filter there. I did so, and it gave me these teams. So I took a look at all of them, and all I did was I searched around until I found a team that used, and this is the one that I found, the Mythfu, right? I found a team created by Safra. Saf, shout out, man. Thank you. Thank you. Great team. I love it.
Daddy, chill.
I found a team that uses champions that I don't use anywhere. Okay? Now, Secret's a great champion, but I don't use him. Fushan's a great champion, but I don't use him. Maybe in Faction Wars, but who cares? So it doesn't matter what speed he's at in Faction Wars, right? And then Eris I certainly don't use. I already said Demytha I don't use. And then I have a random DPS spot, and I have Jintoro, who I never use anywhere. I don't even use him in Faction Wars. But I figured I could throw Gentoro in there. I'd have the weaken, the decreased defense. I don't have to worry about accuracy on Fushan. And this team should be an easy one key. I'm going to run it with you guys today as well. And, but first, let me show you the entire team. Let me go and look at, this is the new Helicath, right? Now he's a big boy, doing big damage, with a lot of defense, right? Before he was speed-tuned and, you know, it was baloney. It was stuff that I couldn't use one of the better champions all around in so many different areas. I couldn't use him because he was locked in my clan boss team. Let me show you my clan boss setup. Actually, scratch that timeout. Let me actually show you the builds first, right? So the artifact sets, it doesn't matter here. I kind of took the same mentality that I do about artifact sets that I do about the champions, right? I just use free gear that I had lying around, even if it's not, you know, perfect sets or anything like that. I really did not min-max this team at all. I just made sure that Gentoro and Fushan were dealing a decent amount of damage, and that's all I cared about. I also put Eris in a toxic set. That's the only one that actually matters to this team quite a bit. Either way, guys, Gentoro, he is +4 empowered, but it doesn't matter. We're going to do way more. We're talking like tens of millions extra damage, and it's not going to matter the empowerment on this champion. Gentoro's a boss, though. He's a beast. He's really one of the best players in the game.
My name is Willy Wonka.
Best players, best champions in the game when it comes to clan boss, right? I mean, my man is bringing a decreased defense and a weaken on a 3-turn cooldown that does like, I don't know, 200,000 damage per hit. But it'll attack 5 times instead of 1 on the 4th use of this skill against the same target in 1 round. Clan Boss obviously is only 1 round. So I have Brimstone on him as well for even more damage. So for masteries, guys, I mean, you know the mastery rules of unkillable teams and speed-tuned teams, I should say, for Clan Boss, right, guys? I mean, the biggest things is we don't want to mess up our turn meter, right? So we don't want rapid response. We don't want arcane celerity. You got to be careful with true speed and lore of steel and stuff like that. But for the most part, you know, these masteries are just fine. Everything that I have is going to be somewhat similar to that, right? Basically hugging the left-hand side of offense, going down usually the defense tree and ending up at retribution is kind of the way to go here. Nothing special on Fushan either in terms of gear. I have old Savage set on him. He's not even crit capped, but he's pretty close. We have Seeker here. He is not even crit capped, but he's pretty damn close. Just a random sets on him, trying to stack his attack as much as possible because obviously the champions won't be taking damage, which is nice. We have offense and defense on this champion as well. You guys can see the masteries here. Nothing too crazy. If the speeds are not working for you, it's likely because you have the wrong masteries. You have turn meter boost going on somewhere. This is Demythis again on the left-hand side here. I'll move myself over. You guys can see that. Again, nothing too crazy with any of these champions. Eris, Demythis is in triple speed sets, I should point out there. Eris, as I mentioned, is in a toxic set. All those poisons do really add up for a great amount of damage. Plus, in her kit, she has this counterattack. Counterattack the attacker when an ally is attacked, thus more chances at landing those poisons from the toxic set. That's why she's so good in toxic gear. Again, same kind of thing on the masteries. I didn't even redo anything. I didn't really touch anything here. The biggest thing is I just don't want to make sure she's not taking the turn meter disrupting masteries. So there you have it, guys. Let me go ahead and show you the speeds and the team setup on the setup screen. All right, guys, so for team setup here, we have Fushan at 192 speed. We're not going to use the Frightful Claws ability. For Demytha, we have 292. These speeds are pretty exact, which is the challenge of any clan boss team, obviously. Channel the Bloodline, first priority. Light of the Deep is second priority. We do want to go in there and set those priorities, or some wonky things can happen as the rotation of the fight goes on. We have Exhortation, the A2 of Eris is going to be the priority there. She's at 261 speed. We have Gentoro at 154 speed, super slow. Priority on Oni's Rage ability, the A3. And then Seeker is opening up with his A1 ability, and his speed is 179. So the two fastest champions are Demytha at 292 and Eris at 261. I'm also going to link Deadwood Jedi's website where I found this build for you guys if you want to make this team. And again, both Fushan and Gentoro are not mandatory on this team, the only two legendaries that we have on it. Gentoro, of course, can be any DPS. He's very slow, 154 speed. So any DPS, ideally a DPS who's bringing some debuffs with them as well. And then we have like a Fane, for example, would be a great option there. And then we have, and the beautiful thing is this works against, again, every affinity. It works against Ultra Nightmare and Nightmare, which is fantastic. It's a full auto, no setup whatsoever. Sign me up, man. All affinity, full auto for a lazy SOB like me. That's exactly what I'm looking for, man. But you can see the team's already rolling. That's it. That's it. Remember back in the days before team setups where we had to go in there and like A1, A2, A3, A1, 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 these long team setups. Oh, I don't miss those days at all, right? But anyway, you guys can see how the team works. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful team. It's not new. This is probably like a year and a half old, this team, so don't sit here and comment about, Ash, this is not new, bro. I know. The whole point is I'm going backwards to move forwards on my account, guys. That's the whole point. You can see it's a beautiful thing, man, when this team is rolling. Well, my last point before I let you go, then I'll come back at the total run. Do you guys think we'll hit? We're going to easily 1 key. I wonder what the ceiling for this team would be, especially if I min-maxed all the damage on all these champions. Well, I'll do it eventually, right? I'll get in there and I'll improve their crit rates, etc., etc. But anyway, on Fu Shan, we're using him mainly because of obviously the damage is nice. We don't care so much about his debuffs because we have that covered on Jintoro. Obviously, accuracy is going to be required. More accuracy than I have currently on Fu Shan if you want to consistently land his debuffs. They're both interchangeable, meaning that you can get another champion. Of course, the only problem is if you go without Fu Shan, you're going to need to find that juicy speed aura for your team or reflect all of your speeds accordingly. That's the only downside. So Fu Shan is, in terms of this exact composition, including all the speeds, he's important because he is the aura lead, okay? So guys, that's going to do it. I should mention too, on area bonuses, I have nothing added to my clan boss, nothing added to Demon Lord. So all the speeds that I showed you today are the exact true speeds that we're going into battle with. Let me come back to you guys when we're at the end of this run. Ooh, I love this team. All right, guys, not too shabby at all. 98 million damage. You can see my man Seeker, 16 million. Eris, 16 million. Demitha, 5 million. Of course, no crit rate, no real damage built into her. Fu Shan, 20 million, as you guys can see. Let me push over here. And doubling Fu Shan's damage is Jintoro at 40 million damage. Not too bad considering I definitely did not min-max this team, as I mentioned earlier in the video. I'm really happy with this change. I just really wanted to make this video, as I said again in the opening, to kind of share with you guys. Maybe you're in the same situation that I was. Maybe you can utilize champions that you don't use that much in other areas for Clan Boss, and then rebuild those champions for like Live Arena or something like that, something that you're actually working on right now and kind of workshopping, and you could really use the help of those champions. Guys, send us some more positive vibes your way before I let you go today. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.